severe austerities to see him. That's what he wanted. His mother told him that he can find Hari, Narayan, Krishna in the forest. So upon receiving that instruction from his mother, Dhruva just went to the forest in search of Hari. And he just saw. He was very fortunate to come across Narad Muni, receive the mercy of Narad Muni. Narad Muni instructed him on spiritual life. Narad Muni instructed him on pure devotional service. And at that time, since the process of spiritual perfection was Ashtanga Yoga, Narad Muni instructed him to practice Ashtanga Yoga. If Narad Muni met Dhruva Maharaj now, what would Narad Muni tell Dhruva Maharaj? Chant Hare Krishna. So chant Hare Krishna. That's what he would have said. And Ganga Narayan made some even more specific involvement. He said Narad Muni would have asked Dhruva Maharaj to join ISKCON. Because ISKCON is the platform where pure devotional service is being available by Srila Prabhupada's mercy. This is the Yuga Dharma of this age. This is the age of Kali, and the Dharma of this age is Jaggai Sankirtana Prayair Jajanti Hi Sumedhasa. So that is, or this is, the Dharma of this age, Kali Yuga. So because Dhruva Maharaj was in Satya Yuga, he was instructed to perform Ashtanga Yoga. And by performing Ashtanga Yoga, what happened to Dhruva Maharaj? What did happen to Dhruva Maharaj? In Ashtanga Yoga, what happens? One sees the Lord in the heart. Samadhi. So he was seeing the Lord in the heart as he achieved perfection of his yoga, Ashtanga Yoga practice. And then, all of a sudden, Dhruva Maharaj could not see the Lord in the heart. All this while he was seeing him in the heart, but now he could not see him. And not seeing him, Dhruva Maharaj became very perturbed. He became very disturbed. What happened? Where did the Lord go? But then, as he opened his eyes, what did he see? He saw the Lord standing in front of him. So this verse is describing that seeing the Lord in that way in front of him, Dhruva Maharaj became very perturbed. The word, the express used for that, greatly confused. Greatly confused. Prabhupada used the word, Dhruva Maharaj was greatly confused, very much confused. And why? Because of his feeling of awe and reverence. He felt, oh, the Lord is standing here, what am I going to do now? Like if a very big person comes, all of a sudden, then how do you feel? Like, for example, if Manmohan Singh just walks up here, we'll become very much perturbed. Oh, such a big man came, what to do? Oh, we are not prepared, we didn't have a seat for him. And we don't have proper way to receive him. So Dhruva Maharaj Can you imagine how Dhruva Maharaj felt when he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead standing in front of him? So due to awe and reverence, Dhruva Maharaj felt very much agitated and confused. He felt very confused. What to do now? So when one sees the Lord and feels that way, what does he usually do? What did Dhruva Maharaj do? Not knowing what else to do, he just fell flat, offering dandavat, offering obeisances. But while he was offering obeisances, what he was doing? He was looking at the Lord. Although he fell, but he was looking at the Lord. Propashan, with his eyes, he was, with his eyes, drigbham, propashan. With his eyes, he was looking at the Lord. Because the Lord's form is so beautiful that he cannot look away from him. That's what happens when we see the Lord. We won't feel like looking at anything else. In the material nature, what do we look at? The things that are conducive for our sense gratification. Isn't it? In the material nature, we just look at different things that are attractive to us. But Krishna is all attractive. So once we get to see Krishna, then we won't feel like looking at anything else. Drigbham propashan. Eyes want to see the beautiful things. So, when Dhruva Maharaj saw Krishna, his eyes became completely absorbed, completely attracted to seeing the Lord. And then with his mouth, what he was doing? He was kissing the lotus feet of the Lord. That is, with drigbham, propashan, prapiban nibar kavhas. Prapiban nibar kavhas. Prapiban nibar bhakas. Or bhakas. Like he was prapiban, he was drinking. Generally we drink with our mouth, but Dhruva Maharaj was drinking with his eyes. What was he drinking? He was drinking the beauty of the Lord's transcendental form. He was looking simply at the Lord as if he was drinking the nectar of his beauty. And chumban ibashena. Ashya means the mouth, the face. So he was kissing the lotus feet of the Lord. There also he was drinking, but what was he drinking? The nectar from the lotus feet of the Lord. And then Bhujair Iva Ashlishan. And with his, although he was lying flat, but he was, with his mind, he was embracing the Lord with his arms, Bhujair. So this is how Dhruva Maharaj felt when he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is how perception of the Lord is real. When we see Him, we experience some feelings in the heart, which is called ecstasy. When there is ecstasy in the heart, then there are 8 different symptoms that become manifest in the body. Those symptoms are called sattvic vikar. And because there are 8 of them, therefore they are called ashtva sattvic vikar. Ashta, 8. What are those 8? Romancha, Kampashru, Taranga, Bhajo. You remember that? But that is Romancha, Kampa, Ashru, Taranga. Then Romancha means hair standing on the body. Hair stand up in body. You have experienced. Sometimes we experience. They say when you see a ghost, the hair stand up. Not only the hair stand up in the body, even this hair stand up. So Romancha, but that is the opposite. Out of fear, one experiences that, Romancha. But out of joy, one experiences Romancha. The standing of hair on end. So when one sees the Lord, that's the experience one gets. Not out of fear, but out of, opposite to fear is joy. Out of joy one feels that. Kampa begins to tremble. Body begins to tremble. Another time when we tremble, डर के मारे कांपते हैं ना. Out of fear one begins to tremble also. Like when one sees a ghost, this is another experience one experiences. Kampa, Ashru, tears. When does one shed tears? Many times people shed tears. When they lose their money, they shed tears. When somebody dies, he sheds tears. When one is in pain, he sheds tears. But in the opposite dimension, it happens when one experiences the joy within his heart. Romancha, Kampashru, Taranga, Bhajo. The different types of ecstasies. There are another one is Shveda. Shveda means sweat. Out of ecstasy, sweat comes out of the body. Voice becomes choked, can't speak. Normally we can speak. There's another time we can see when one becomes very afraid, can he speak? Out of fear he cannot speak. But out of ecstasy also one cannot speak. As if the voice gets choked. Then one stambha, one loses he becomes stunned. He can't move. He becomes stambha. He becomes like a statue. He cannot move. Boivarna, he loses color. Like you have seen a dead body. The dead body doesn't have any color because the blood is not flowing, because there is no life. Boivarna. And then finally, mrityu, or one faints. So these are the 8 kinds of ecstatic symptoms. Ashtashatvik Vikar. Now Prabhupada is saying that Dhruva Maharaj was experiencing that. Not only Dhruva Maharaj, whoever sees the Lord in this way, face to face, he experiences these ecstasies. And as a result of the ecstasy, he displays these kind of symptoms in his body. These are the symptoms, lakshanam. So, but these symptoms are not important. Like shedding tears, sometimes people want to display. Some unscrupulous people, they want to pretend as if they are big devotees. They shed tears, they begin to tremble, and all that. And illiterate people, uneducated people, simple people, they become affected by that. They think, oh, this is a very big devotee. Look, he is experiencing. But we have to understand these symptoms are not important. What is important is one's devotion within. And Srila Prabhupada pointed out, a genuine devotee would not like to display his ecstatic symptoms in public. Why? Because especially nowadays, people will not understand and they'll create disturbance. And there are so many imitating people displaying this kind of symptoms. The pure devotees say, I'm not going to fall in that category. So, a devotee hides these symptoms. Another consideration is, if you have something very precious, do you go out and display it to everybody or keep it in your safe? If you have a very precious jewel, will you go to the marketplace and show everybody, look, I have this jewel? When you have the jewel, you will keep it in the safe. Because you know the value of that jewel. Similarly, a pure devotee generally does not display these ecstatic symptoms. But when they become naturally manifest and he can't control it, that's another thing. We saw Prabhupada usually used to control himself, check himself. But sometimes Prabhupada's ecstasy would become manifest. It would become manifest. Like tears would come down his eyes. Sometimes Prabhupada would become stunned. But we have seen that when Prabhupada could not control himself, he did that. Another time I heard Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur giving the Bhagavatam class. He all of a sudden left the class and ran into his room from the temple and locked himself up from inside. Devotees could understand what was happening. But then, when they came close to the room, they could hear him crying. The ecstasy that he was feeling, he didn't want to display it in the Bhagavatam class. While giving the class, he all of a sudden started to feel that ecstasy. But he didn't want to display it in public. He just ran into his room, locked himself up, and he allowed that ecstasy to take over. Anyway, main thing is that these are the symptoms, but we should not artificially try to imitate and show that we are experiencing those symptoms. Let our love for Krishna develop within our heart. In this respect also, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave a very nice example, pointing out that these symptoms are not important. The love within your heart is important. But unfortunately, in Bengal, those days, many unscrupulous people, even now you see, in public they cry and they do all kinds of things, as if they have got bhava, they are experiencing the transcendental ecstasy. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur said that these people are Kolir Chala, the disciples of Kali. They are not the disciples of Sadguru. They are disciples of Kali. They look like Vaishnavas. They look like Vaishnavas. They have tilak, they have kantimala. But actually, they are the worshippers of Kali. Kali worshippers, what do they want? They want Shakti. Therefore, they are called Shaktas, the worshippers of Shakti. Shakti means power. And why do they want power? To enjoy this material nature. Now, those people are called Shaktas, the worshippers of Kali. Generally, who worship Kali? Do you know who worship Kali? Okay, let us first consider, do you know where Kali is worshipped? Kali? In the jungle. In the middle of the jungle. Or in a crematorium. Now, how many of you go to the jungle, even otherwise? What to speak of worshipping? Does anybody want to go to the jungle? But who goes to the jungle? The dacoits and miscreants, those who are involved in wrong activities. And why do they worship Kali? Because they know that they are doing something wrong, so they beg forgiveness from the mother. Kali is the mother, Mahamaya. But Kali form is destructive form. In this form she destroys. Therefore, we see that those who are worshipping in the mode of ignorance, they worship Kali. But those who are in the mode of goodness, who do they worship? They worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that actually they are Shaktas, they are Shakti worshippers. But they look like Vaishnavas. But they are not Vaishnavas. Anyway, Madhya Pradesh doesn't have that problem. Bengal had that problem. They dress like Vaishnavas, but actually they are not devotees of Krishna. Rather, they want to be Krishna himself. That's what the Shaktas want to do. They want to become God. They think that they'll get Shakti and become Shaktiman. And who is Shaktiman? Who is all powerful? Krishna. So if we know that Krishna is all powerful, then what should we do? If you know that Krishna is all powerful, will you compete with him? If you know that somebody is very strong, will you go and fight with him? So if you know that Krishna is the supreme, powerful, then what is the intelligent thing to do? Surrender, right? Surrender. And if you surrender to Krishna, then what Krishna will do? Krishna will say, very good, I will give you protection. And when you have protection, do you have any fear? No. When you have protection like that, do you have any anxiety? So you become free from fear, free from anxiety. Therefore, what happens when you become a devotee? You become abhay, fearless. When you become a devotee, then you become free from anxiety. Spiritual life is free from anxiety. Therefore, spiritual world is Vaikuntha. No kuntha, no anxiety. And what is there? Becoming free from anxiety, what do you get? You get ananda. Therefore, the spiritual world is Anandamaya, and those who enter into spiritual world, they also become Anandamaya. So in this way, we can see from Srimad Bhagavatam how one actually experiences this joy. And then we'll see how beautifully Dhruva Maharaj, although he was just a little boy, started to offer beautiful prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hare. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Kangana.
From this teachings, when Lord come, then he disappeared from his heart. So when you are
He disappeared.
from his heart.
Yeah.
So when you are seeing our deities, so you feel like he's not in our heart now. Or
Rather, when you see deity, then you see the one who is in your heart has appeared there. Who is in your heart now is standing in front of you.
my question was then why disappeared? Because
Are you seeing him in your heart now?
no.
Then where's the question of disappearing? So then the safe way to think is, he is in your heart, but now he is standing in front of you on the altar. The one who is in your heart is there in the altar. No difference. And then when we see him in the heart, then we'll see him exactly like the way he is on the altar. Okay?
Then so many different deities. So which deity you will try to meditate?
When you are standing in front of Gaurnitai, you meditate on Gaurnitai. When you are standing in front of Radha Madan Mohan, you meditate on Radha Madan Mohan. And you also see that this Radha Madan Mohan is non-different from Gaurnitai. That is Radha Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are seeing Radha Madan Mohan, but who is Radha Madan Mohan? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then you see Krishna Balaram, there also see, oh, Krishna Balaram, Gaurnitai is here also. So in this way, the same personality is seen in a different way. And we meditate upon him according to his form, his appearance. Achinta Bheda Bheda. In a way, Gaurnitai and Radha Madan Mohan are different, but not different.
Dhruv Maharaj, he performed devotional service for some material gain. I mean, he had that motivation. So, but when he started his devotional service, he was completely absorbed in it. Like at that time, during the performance of his austerities, was he still meditating on what he wanted from the Lord, or was he simply focusing on?
We see later on we'll come to that. He's lamenting, he's repenting. Oh, why did I want material things from you? Because I was in ignorance, I thought of approaching you for some material gain. I was searching for some broken pieces of glass. And now that I have got diamond, what is the value of those broken pieces of glass? So that is what Dhruva Maharaj is feeling.
So even during the performance of austerities also he was simply focusing on...
That time he was not focusing on to anything, just he was focusing on to the Lord. Like you may come to Krishna consciousness due to some other factor. Artha, Artharthe, Jigyasu, Gyani. But when you are practicing devotional service, do you think, oh, I am Artha, that's how I came here? Or I am in need of money, that's why I came? That becomes, secondary. Why one comes to Krishna consciousness, then once you come to Krishna consciousness, that becomes secondary. Yes.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. While serving the masters in material world, one serves them very sincerely. But while serving the masters in material world, one serves them very sincerely, even unwillingly he serves. But while serving the spiritual master, I am not able to develop that sincerity. So why is the unfortunate thing is happening?
It will happen when you realize why you're serving a spiritual master. You're serving a material master because he's giving you money. Right? So, because you know that if you don't serve properly, you won't get the money. And at some point when you don't need the money, then do you want to serve him? Even somebody may be working in an office, serving the master. He's serving the master very nicely. Malik, mujh par kripa rakhna. Right? But then one day he wins the lottery. He gets 10 crores. Then do you think he'll work in that office anymore? So, similarly, because of some gain, one serves materially. One serves for some gain. And spiritually, one serves in order to get favor of Krishna, in order to win the favor of Krishna. Right? So, when we recognize the purpose of our service, then we become fixed up. When we really want Krishna and we know that this is the way to get Krishna, we'll become very fixed up in your service.
How do we develop the intense desire to get Krishna?
By becoming Krishna conscious. Read books. That's why it's so important to read books, hear Krishna Katha, associate with devotees. This will give us the understanding why we are practicing Krishna consciousness. Generally in the material nature, everyone is running after dhanam, janam, sundarim. Right? But when you get the taste of spiritual life, then na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Why? Because Krishnaika sharanam. Because then we know that my only shelter is Krishna. Whose question is this? That's your question. In the age of Kali, it is very common to see that many people got success in their respective fields easily by unusual means. Okay. Not by doing hard work. That is, in medical entrance exam, those who knows the exam, conducting authority, or those who can give lakhs of money are easily selected. If a devotee wants to clear the exam, but he is not doing the sufficient hard work for that exam, then in that Krishna can help him or not. Do you want Krishna to help you materially or spiritually? Then why ask Krishna for, Krishna, let me pass my exams? Anyway, when exam is important, you can ask him. Or if you want some material gain, you can ask him. But finally, that's not the goal. Finally it is, we just serve Krishna for his pleasure, not for our pleasure. Okay, any other question? Okay.
Spiritual anxiety. So what is the difference, the nature of these two kind of anxiety?
You see, material anxiety is losing something ourselves due to the fear of losing something ourselves. Right? Like if there is a possibility of losing one's job, he gets into anxiety. Losing money, losing his family members, losing his reputation, they get into anxiety. But spiritual anxiety is being incapable of serving Krishna. That I cannot properly serve Krishna. That is my anxiety. Once I told Prabhupada, while serving him, Prabhupada, I was so much in anxiety and I was so afraid. Prabhupada said, when you are serving your spiritual master, you should be in anxiety and you should be afraid. What kind of fear? That I may not be able to execute my service properly. You see, it was when I got the responsibility, when I got the opportunity to cook for Srila Prabhupada. One day I proposed to Srila Prabhupada, should I cook for you? Prabhupada said, okay, you can give it a try. And I cooked, Prabhupada liked it. And he told everybody, not everybody, those who were close to him, that how much he liked my cooking. The next day I cooked and I made a mess out of it. And Prabhupada chastised me. He took a bite and he told me, you don't have any standard. One day you cook nicely, I praise you, and next day you're gone. So then the next day when I was cooking with a whole lot of anxiety. Because I knew if that day I failed to cook properly, then I won't be able to cook for Srila Prabhupada ever. So that time, and after I served Srila Prabhupada, then Prabhupada took a bite, Prabhupada started to eat. So I felt some confidence. Today probably cooking is alright. So then I told Prabhupada, I was in such anxiety and I was so afraid. And then Prabhupada said, yes, when you're serving your spiritual master, you should be in anxiety and you should be afraid. So that you don't make any mistake. Alright, so spiritual anxiety is ecstasy. Ecstasy in the sense, you're serving with anxiety, but when you see that your master is pleased, then how do you feel? Then you feel the ecstasy. Some questions from the internet. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. It is stated in Bhagavatam, one who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become spiritual master, father, mother, husband, or worshipable demigod. How a worshipable demigod, father, mother, or husband can deliver his dependents from his cycle of birth and death? The way one frees his dependents from the cycle of birth and death by giving him Krishna, by making him Krishna conscious. Therefore, the responsibility, the duty of father, mother, spiritual master and everybody is to give Krishna. So this question is from Rohini. She is 12 years old from San Jose. San Jose is in California. Hare Krishna Maharaj, what is the best way to serve Krishna? A very nice question, Rohini. You see, the best way to serve Krishna is by singing His glory. By telling Krishna, Krishna, you are so beautiful. Krishna, you are so wonderful. Krishna, you are so attractive. Krishna, you are so powerful. And Krishna, I love you. Krishna, I love you. Krishna, I love you. So that is the best way to serve Krishna. And how do you say that? You say that by saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is from Ankit Vora. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. In Sri Brahma Samhita verse 2 purport, words uniquadrantal and triquadrantal extensions of the transcendental infinitary are used. Does this mean that this material world is 25% of spiritual world? Yeah, that is true. Uniquadrantal means 1/4 and triquadrantal means 3/4. The material world is ekapada vibhuti and spiritual world is 3-pad vibhuti. So this question is locally. While offering prayers during Guru Puja and Gurvashtakam, who should be our sole object of meditation? Srila Prabhupada or our Diksha Guru? Very good question. Okay, to answer this question, I will simply ask, say when you are doing Guru Puja, who are you worshipping? Srila Prabhupada. So do I have to tell you who should you meditate upon? Whose question is this? Okay. So when you are worshipping Prabhupada Guru Puja, who are you worshipping? So who should you meditate on? Then? Okay. When you are doing Gurvashtakam, Samsara Davana Lalira Loka, who should we meditate? Okay, in that respect, I'll go to one GBC resolution. The GBC resolution says that the present gurus can be worshipped in the temple only once a year during his Vas Puja. So the remaining 364 days that you are worshipping in the temple, who are you worshipping? Who are you allowed to worship? Srila Prabhupada. So yes, when you are singing Gurvashtakam, we should meditate upon Srila Prabhupada. And we should remain grateful to our spiritual master, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus, that they brought us to Srila Prabhupada. Right? Many times we are very much mechanical while attending morning program. Well, mechanical means like a machine, right? Does a machine have consciousness? So you have come here to become Krishna conscious. So should you act like a machine or should you act like a human being? Okay, next question is Tushtatman Krishna. Tushtatma Krishna Das. Okay. When Vishnu came out from the heart of Dhruva Maharaj, he was not able to see the Lord in his heart. After opening his eyes, he saw Lord in front of him. So how can we say simultaneously Bohir Nishingha, Hridaya Nishingha? Yeah, he is there, Bohir Nishingha, he is there, Hridaya Nishingha. But the question is, where you are seeing him? When you are seeing him Bohir, then no more Anta. Because to how many directions you can look? Can you look at 10 different directions? Or just on one direction? So, okay, any other, there was some question, yes.
Is there any site of seeing Vyas Puja live?
Huh?
Is there any site for seeing Vyas Puja live?
Oh, I see. Maybe in South Africa they'll make some arrangement. On that day, on 17th September. I'll find out and I'll let you. Huh?
They'll announce in Ishtagoshti.
Okay. They'll announce it in the Ishtagoshti. Anyway, we'll announce here also. Prema Bhakti, you inform him. When? Yeah. I think they'll make some arrangements. Can they use Mayapur TV from South Africa? Vibhav? Huh? They can use? What do they need?
Just good internet connection.
Good internet connection. And?
Some setups.
Okay. And your mercy. Guru Maharaj, when I try to tolerate persons who are trying to create anger, up to some extent I can, but after that, suddenly I lose my control. What should I do in such situation? Whose question is this? That's your question. Okay, so don't do anything artificially. Try to do things naturally. If somebody causes you some difficulties or distress, then you'll naturally get angry. Right? But when you love somebody and that person does something to you, do you get angry? Like if somebody kicks you on your chest, how do you feel? Angry. Right? But if your baby, if you have one, if your baby kicks you on your chest, will you feel angry? Why not? Because you love the baby. So the best way to conquer anger is through love. If we love everybody, then we won't get angry with them. So this is from Devanjan Krishna Das and Shashwati Radhika Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, one who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become spiritual master father. I answered this question. Okay, I answered this one. Alright, Devanjan Krishna, you got the answer. I thought, okay, this one I just kept there. Yeah, I answered this. I don't know why it came back again. Okay, the answer is, once again, just in case you didn't hear, the way one can deliver one from the cycle of birth and death is by giving him Krishna. Therefore, the father, mother, guru and everybody should give Krishna to their dependents. Last two questions here.
How can I understand that I believe in Krishna?
How can you understand that you believe in Krishna? That you should tell me.
Because my intellect, I know that Lord is everything. He is Satchidananda Vigraha. I know everything, but my mind always means make the intellect go down. It deviates from path. Like when I'm singing, you are not meditating, or the Lord is not in your vision or something continuously. But I'm singing, and the mind is taking.
Yeah, we can understand. Because now that our mind is materially motivated, now that our mind is in our body consciousness, right? Like it is dwelling in material world, in material dimension. That's why we cannot perceive the spiritual aspect of it. So by practicing devotional service, we'll transcend the material platform. We'll transcend the bodily platform. And we'll come to the platform of spiritual. then our awareness will happen. Okay? By practice it will happen. Now, although you accept Krishna as God, but the full realization is not there. But by practice it will happen, it will come. Okay?
When we perform more deity worship and reading more Prabhupada books, I can able to chant more consciously. But when I engage in more in management activity or in external preaching and all, so I lose the taste in chanting. So how to maintain the taste?
Now what is important? How you feel or how Krishna sees you? You are serving the master, right? While you are serving the master, what is important? Your own feeling or your master's feeling? Right? So when your master sees that on behalf of him you are taking so much anxiety, so many difficulties, then will the master feel pleased with you or upset with you? Therefore, when Krishna sees that for his sake you are trying to manage and take so much difficulties, undergoing so many obstacles, then he will think, oh, my servant is so good, and he'll be pleased. But if your master says, do this, and you say, well, I don't want to do it because I don't really feel Krishna conscious doing that. Right? Okay. Thank you all very much. Okay, last question. करते रहो, करते करते practice makes a man perfect. प्रैक्टिस करते रहो, प्रैक्टिस करते करते परफेक्शन आ जाएगा. ठीक है? सही मार्ग में तो आ गए हो, इसमें कोई शक है? ये मार्ग सही है, तो इस रास्ता पे रहो तो वहां पहुंच जाओगे. तो कब पहुंचेगी उसके बारे में मत सोचो. चाहे इस जन्म में हो या ना हो, कोई हर्जा नहीं. परंतु हम अगर मार्ग में, सही मार्ग में रहेंगे तो और कुछ फिक्र नहीं रहेगा. ओके? हरे कृष्णा. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.